Good morning, distinguished guests, colleagues, partners, and friends. It's my great pleasure on behalf of the Bulgarian Wind Energy Association to welcome you to the 6th edition of Resources Southeast Europe. I would like to sincerely thank all participants, speakers, industry representatives for joining us here today to discuss one of the most important topics for our region these days, and namely the acceleration of the secure, compatible, and sustainable energy growth. Southeast Europe is at a pivotal moment right now. The region has enormous renewable potential, strong industrial demand, and growing strategic importance for Europe energy security. At the same time, we are facing quite a lot of challenges, from grid modernization to permitting delays, market design, and investor predictability. This is exactly why conferences like Resources Southeast Europe are so important. They bring together policymakers, investors, corporate consumers, developers, financial institutions to build regional partnerships and practical solution for the energy future. For Bulgaria specifically, this is a very particular discussion today. The country has made a significant progress toward deploying substantial capacity of solar and batteries, and now we shall focus on building a balanced and resilient energy mix. At the Bulgarian Wind Energy Association, we strongly believe that the next phase of the energy transition is not only about ambition, but also about trust between policymakers and investors, consumers and producers, national policies, and long-term European strategic goals. Long-term market mechanisms like corporate power purchase agreements and contract for differences bring the much needed predictability and stability and benefit both consumers and producers, and at the same time facilitate the energy independence and decarbonization. Today's discussion, that's why it's not only about energy transition, but it's also about predictability, industrial development, competitiveness, and long-term economic resilient development of our region. Thank you once again for being here today, and I wish us all a very productive, inspiring, and successful conference. And I would really like to welcome our Minister of Energy, Ms. Eva Petrova, to share the priorities on the political agenda in this very advanced stage of the energy transition. Welcome.
Dear colleagues, dear friends, dear partners, good morning. And first of all, I would like to thank Miglena and Nikola for always being a trusted partner to the Ministry of Energy in the last years. And thank you for making Sofia stage of this regional dialogue and exchanges. I have a very huge welcoming speech to you today, but I will take a more pragmatic approach because you all know me, and I would like to address 3 key messages to you. I think we can all agree that we are witnessing a profound transformation of our energy sector in the recent years. If we are speaking about Bulgaria, I think now in the system we have more than 6.5 gigawatt of solar and 3.5 gigawatt of standalone storages, which is a huge transformation because all of these capacities were commissioned in the system in the last couple of years. And if all of us, we can recall just few years ago, we were calling all these technologies alternative energy technologies. But nowadays, when we are having 1 unit of the nuclear power plant out of the system for maintenance, and we are having the transformation of the coal power plants, actually nowadays, I think we have majority of renewables and batteries contributing to the security of supplies. Of course, And this is my second point. In order to sustain this transformation of the system without compromising the security and affordability of supplies, we need grids. We are focused a lot into development of the transmission grids and also distribution grids in Bulgaria. And the transformation of the grids from one side requires purely expanding the capacities, digitalizing the grid, which means a lot of investments in the grids. You know, we are allocating a huge public support into the transformation of the grids. We are using a recovery and resilience plan to fund the transformation of the electricity transmission grid, and we are using the modernization fund to upgrade and digitalize the distribution grids. Because these grids actually will enable the effective utilization of the renewable energy sources and the storage capacities that we are having in our system in a sustainable manner. And they are also crucial if we take also into account the other transformation processes that are on demand side. Like what we see at the household sector, we see prosumers, we see energy communities emerging in various forms around different stakeholders. And last but not least, I think what Miglena mentioned, we need a stable and up-to-date regulatory framework in order to transform these new market participants into sustainable participants in the electricity grid and the electricity market. And this regulatory framework, from one side, should address the market itself, like PPAs, CFDs, and other instruments that we are having. But also the regulatory framework should address also the grid issues, because I really think having all these new capacities in the system actually requires an up-to-date management of the grid in order to provide for the technical capacities and for the security of the grid itself. And last but not least, we are in a region where cooperation and interconnectivity matters the most. In Southeastern European region, we really need to get more interconnected in order to become independent and to have a secure energy supplies for our citizens and businesses. So once again, thank you very much for turning Sofia a stage of this regional cooperation and exchanges. I trust you will have a value-added discussions today, and I really hope you will continue to be a trusted partner to the Ministry of Energy in our way forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Petrova. Thank you for being here, and thanks to all of you who have survived last night's networking party and are still here. Another round of applause for Minister Petrova, who needs to leave earlier. Thank you very much. And now I would like to give the floor to Mr. Boyan Mitrakiev, who is Executive Director of the biggest Employers and Industrialists Federation in Bulgaria, CRIP. Mr. Mitrakiev, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Sorry for being late, but we had a conference call with the chairman about a renewable energy project at 4 a.m. Worse for him, because I was playing computer games, and it wasn't that bad for me. I would like to give a few comments about the macroeconomics perspective, because you know much more about the topic itself than me. So as you know, we have an inflation issue, and if you imagine just for a bit the GDP formula, which is consumption, investment, government expenditure, and net exports, we are doing pretty good with consumption, maybe too good, as our friends from the labor unions have managed to convince a couple of governments. As far as energy is considered, we've done pretty good with installing new capacity, which is investment. And surprisingly for me as a libertarian, the government spending has been also more good than bad. However, we are turning towards a problem with the current account, which means that we are running an enormous import issue, which is reducing the GDP, and it's time to handle it. So from the viewpoint of creep, we are getting more and more skeptical about gigantic government energy project. We are warming up to this decentralized renewable energy network that is sprawling over the entire country. However, we have to get to the next level, which means production. So we need to start building factories to produce renewable energy equipment and become less reliant on imports from third countries outside the European Union. And so our call in our next meetings with the Ministry of Investment would be to target the sector with more support. Of course, the investment agency is an important instrument to do it. However, we need more targeted support, and in the long term, we need to solve the current account issue. And yeah, this sector is one of the easiest solutions to do so, with an enormous positive externalities. So you can count on our support and advocacy in front of both, maybe 3 ministers, counting innovation, and yeah, see you around.
Thank you very much, Bojan. Very inspiring to hear that from the biggest business organization in Bulgaria. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning also from myself, Nikola Gazdov, Chair of APSTE. Very happy to see you here. As I mentioned, most of you, or many of you, I saw also last night at the networking cocktail, and as I mentioned, great to know that you've survived it. It's the 6th time that we get together here for resource. 6 years ago, it was a very different conversation. It was a conversation about the future of renewables, because there was no present at the time, you know. Investments were stagnating, especially in Romania and Bulgaria. Greece had some head start thanks to corporate agreements and mostly contracts for difference. But back then, the big question was, are renewables capable to deliver electricity on the market if not backed by subsidies? So are subsidy-free renewables even a thing? I think we now all know the answer. We know the answer, and it is that renewables are affordable, they are scalable, they're predictable, and they even help us fight inflation, as we heard. What has happened over the last 5-6 years is extraordinary. For this period of time, the region, Bulgaria, Romania, Greece, has managed to double its wind install capacity, to increase its solar capacity 7-fold. And back then, when we started resource in 2020, together with the Bulgarian Wind Energy Association and supported by Solar Power Europe and Wind Europe, back then we had zero storage. Storage was a thing of the future, almost science fiction. Something we know is coming, but it's too expensive, it's distant, we don't need to think about it too much. That was not our position. We always believed that with scalability, price is going to come down. And that's exactly what happened. 2 years ago even, the region had virtually zero installed capacity, or very little installed capacity for battery storage. As we heard now from the minister, things are going really fast in the right direction, and Bulgaria already has 3.5 gigawatts. That translates to probably about 12 gigawatt hours of storage capacity, which is absolutely incredible, provided that indeed back in 2024 there was close to nothing. What that makes is, as we also heard from the minister, it induces a profound transformation of our energy systems. So this has not always been a positive story only, let's be honest. I mean, this quick uptake in renewables, especially solar, has caused very low or negative prices. It has caused congestions in the grid, especially in Greece and partly also in Bulgaria and Romania. It has caused curtailments, either forced or self-imposed. And this is not a great thing for producers, let's be honest. But now, thanks to these challenges, we have found solutions. And storage has proven to be one of the key ones, one of the key solutions that helps us address simultaneously the market signals and shift electricity to times where it's more needed and not necessarily flooding the market when solar panels are producing during the day. Storage has helped us address the grid issues, and it has helped us to speed up the energy transition, because what is happening over the last couple of weeks is, again, taken from the discussions from yesterday, somebody mentioned we were expecting that at 5% renewables in the grid, there's going to be a breakdown. Well, over the last couple of weeks, Bulgaria has had multiple days where renewables, dominated by solar at the time, have produced more than 100% of what the country was consuming at the time, while simultaneously charging almost 2 gigawatts of storage. And some of this electricity was imported from our neighbors, helping them solve some of their issues. So I really believe that this is very important. It has helped also industry recognize that renewables can deliver much more than just a solar profile or a wind profile. Together with storage, it can deliver valuable products which are helping industry meet exactly the needs that they have. And I think this is very, very important. It has also helped, as we heard, grid operators to manage better their loads, to operate the system which is now dominated by variable renewables. And for the first time, probably in such a scale, it has managed to shift electrons not only across borders, but across time as well. And okay, the elephant in the room should be addressed as well. We live in the biggest energy crisis for the last 5 decades. And it's the third one for the last 5 years. All of them caused by geopolitics, not by economics. And all of them affecting us, our region, without us being able to do much about it. Renewables are a natural hedge against such geopolitical shocks and price spikes. And much more visible than before, renewables are a key instrument for increasing our energy autonomy, our security, and our industrial competitiveness. And all of you here, and the ones that didn't make it after the network party yet, you are all responsible for that success, because you're not only here to listen, you're here to discuss, to meet people and partners, and to do business. I've seen many people shaking hands over the last couple of days, and especially yesterday and during the networking event as well. I am absolutely sure that today is going to be also a very interesting day for all of you, and I wish you a successful business, how to put it, a successful business time in Sofia. Make good contacts, start conversations, and sign deals. That's what we hope is going to happen, and that's the reason we have this platform, Resolve Southeast. I wish you a successful day today. Thank you very much for the attention. And straight away, I would like to invite our next panelist and the moderator of a very interesting panel about the direction corporate sourcing is taking and what is happening to the PPA market in Europe and in our region.